Chapter 1044 just blew everyone's minds, and rightfully so. We just got the first taste of Luffy's new transformation, being Gear 5. And this power he's obtained is shown to be goofy, yet very dangerous at the exact same time. Now, due to the hype of this chapter, there's a lot of things that could have been missed in terms of analysis. So, this video's purpose is to show you all the things you could have missed in chapter 1044. Also, real quick, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Number 1, we have Luffy eating the 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚒𝚝 mythical Zoan model Nika. And unlike many others trying to analyze his powers, I want to analyze the possible parallels real quick. The only known people in the One Piece world so far who have eaten a 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚒 type devil fruit are Sengoku and Chopper, and I want to focus more on Sengoku today. Remember when Roger is fighting off fodder marines, he asked specifically for 2 people, and that's Garp and Sengoku. Well, we could make a decent parallel with Luffy being that combined rival force to Roger, from the past Pirate King to the future Pirate King, with both combining aspects of Sengoku and Garp being put into one person, the perfect rival for Roger, other than Whitebeard. Number 2, a quick thing to notice when Gear 5 is revealed is that on Luffy's left leg, we see a damage mark that looks very much like a D, and it's been bolded quite heavily unlike the other scars on his body. Does this mean that we'll see more of a connection to the D clan with more information about Nika? Well, we'll have to wait and see, but let me know in the comments what you guys think it might be. Number 3, Momonosuke is actually quite upset, and we have to ask the question, why? Joy Boy was just revealed to be Luffy, and yet Momo is still visibly upset. Maybe this is because he's still conflicted on closing the borders of Wano, and the person who Oden was waiting for in order to keep the borders open was Joy Boy. So, we may see some conflicting feelings here from Momonosuke about Joy Boy, even if Joy Boy is Luffy. Number 4. Now, this is an obvious one, but we've seen foreshadowing of Sun God Nika since the Smash Brothers cover art from Oda, where Luffy has fire on his head. This foreshadowing was given to us a while back, but there are other aspects of the cover art that people are taking a look at that have become true. For one, we have Sanji becoming a cyborg, Robin becoming a demon, and Zoro possibly slaying a dragon. ZKK confirmed? Nah, I'm just playing. But if you look closely at Usopp's goggles in the cover, on the right hand side, you can see the number 800, a reference to 800 years in the making of Joy Boy's return. I find it very interesting that Oda gives us this cover art for Luffy as a possible design for Gear 5, and on the same cover, we see the number 800 on Usopp's goggles. Like always, Oda is sneakier than ever. Number 5. Now, to further continue the quick analysis on this cover art, I saw that Oda put the numbers 19 and 38 specifically, and knowing Oda's style with numbers, I had to look more into it. What I found was the 2 covers for volume 19 and 38. In the last panel of chapter 1044, we see a close-up of Luffy, and his eyebrows look exactly like Sanji's. What do we get on volume cover 19? An imitation of Sanji by Luffy himself right on the front of the cover. Now let's move to volume cover 38, where we see Luffy breaking chains on the very front. But chains to what exactly? What we do know is that in chapter 1044, Luffy is known as the Warrior of Liberation and has been breaking the chains of oppression on every single island, so there is much to fear. Number 6. Like always, Oda loves to use the principle of 2 sides of the same coin, and today we're going to be talking about a rather villainous coin with 2 main figures, Orochi and Kaido. Orochi in this chapter was quite fearful of dying and went to huge extremes to try and survive, like lying and deception, but obviously that didn't work on Hiori. But jump to Kaido and we see a grateful vibe from him, and he says that he's thankful Luffy is still alive because he didn't want to win their fight in such a dishonorable way, learning from his previous mistake when he fought Oden. Pretty interesting to see the comparison between these 2. Number 7. We all obviously know that this chapter showcases an insane amount of laughter with Luffy in Gear 5, and he's showing true laughter despite the dire circumstances at hand during the raid. However, let's turn back 100 chapters to chapter 944, where we see the opposite of this effect. In chapter 944, we see how the smile fruits have affected the lives of many different people, and the 2 focal points of these people were Killer and the the people of Ibisu Town. Their lives were cursed with the inorganic laughter they possess, and it has cost them their emotions, livelihood, and even sanity. Yet we see our warrior of liberation now come and save Wano exactly 100 chapters later. A warrior who, as the Gorosei describes it, brings smiles wherever he goes. Number 8. Now obviously we have to talk about eyes when it comes to this chapter, as Luffy's eyes are much different than before. But I do want to address that throughout the chapter, Oda has made a pretty big deal to cover Luffy's true eyes in the chapter, as we only partially see them in one tiny panel and then once more for the big reveal at the end. And by the way, I'm not counting Luffy's Looney Tunes eyes. That's just in another category in itself. But these eyes we see have us wondering what the true purpose is, and how can all of these eyes be connected? Counting Luffy now, we have 6 people in the series who have these types of eyes, and each one we've seen has had a different variation of color, with Mihawk having yellow, Hakuba having blue, Caribou having green, Zunisha having teal, Emu having red, and Luffy now possibly with orange. It's hard to tell exactly what it means, but we definitely do have to keep an eye out for this in the future. Number 9. Now if we take a look at Luffy's entrance, we see that foam is coming out of the mouth of some fodder beast pirates, but the imagery reminds me of a certain chapter in Wano where Luffy was in a very similar situation, and that's his first battle with Kaido. When Luffy was knocked unconscious, we can see him use Conqueror's Haki around him, and Kaido is quick to notice, and this makes me truly wonder, what if this was Luffy's mid-awakening, but his Haki wasn't developed enough yet? Hence, Kaido takes him into his prison to try and create a warrior who is worthy enough to bring about his death. This is later proven when Kaido mocks Luffy on the rooftop, saying he couldn't be Joy Boy either. And if you watched my last video on Luffy's Devil Fruit origins, we discussed a theory that Kaido went to Marineford to specifically collect Ace because he thought Ace was Joy Boy, and was convinced by Shanks that Joy Boy would come to Wano soon enough. Now, with each battle, Luffy's Haki got much stronger, and now after losing his 4th match against Kaido, he's finally able to awaken Gear 5. Number 10. While digging up some information about this week's chapter, there's actually another parallel we see specifically, another 2 sides of one coin, and that's Hiori and Momonosuke. In one side, we see Hiori believing in her father and carrying his ideals through her words with Orochi, and on the other, we have a conflicted Momonosuke who's not sure if he can live up to his father's ideals of opening up Wano, with the possibility of many lives being at stake. But obviously, both of these sides lead to one path only this time, and that's Joy Boy's return to Wano, which has already begun. And finally, number 11. With Luffy's awakening, we can see that he emphasizes that he feels fun, both himself and his heartbeat specifically. And of course, from here on out, we see the wackiest moves yet in probably the most serious battle in the series yet. But the question is, why fun specifically? Could this maybe be tied to something about Luffy's dream? Or could this be about Joy Boy's inherited will of possibly making things fun for everyone? We'll just have to wait and see. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you guys would like to see more One Piece content in the future, please do subscribe to the channel. See ya!